So welcome to the arithmetic classes. So today we discuss ratio and proportion. First let us have a discussion on ratio. So what is meant by the ratio? So let's have a discussion on first point is ratio. So what is the ratio? What is the ratio? So that means ratio is nothing but a comparison. So the comparison of two quantities of same kind. This is very important. Of same kind. That means they must be in same units. So is called a ratio. So this is the concept of ratio. So now how do we represent or how do we denote the ratio between the two quantities? So let's have a discussion on that one. So that means first of all here write down now note. So first point under note, the ratio between suppose say the two things, one is A, other one is B, between A, okay, and B is written as A is to B. So this is the, in this way actually we denote the ratio. So between the A and B, where A comma B are of same kind and they possess the same units. Okay, and this is read as, it's very important how to read this one. This is read as A is to B. A is to B. So that means the two dots we need to read as is to. That means this is read as A is to B. So in A is to B, actually how many terms are there? Yes, we have the two terms. So what do we call A and what do we call B? So let's have a discussion on that one. So now let us move to the second note. That is the second point. So now, otherwise you can write the main point as also, no problem. Second point. So here in the ratio A is to B, A is called the first term, or this is very important note down, that is actually antecedent. So this is A is termed as antecedent, whereas B is called the second term. or so it is termed as consequent. Consequent. So consequent. So now how do you name the two terms of the ratio A is to B, where A is called an antecedent, B is called consequent. So let me write it separately. For example, here A is to B, it's a ratio, okay, ratio between the two quantities of same kind. So in which A is termed as antecedent, antecedent, antecedent. I hope it's very clear to you. So whereas B is termed as consequent, consequent, consequent. I hope it's very clear to you. Okay. So let us move to next concept now. Next concept. So let us move to the next concept. So the ratio A is to B is said to be put in simplest form, in simplest form, in simplest form, or we can say that lowest terms, lowest terms, lowest terms, lowest terms. So when A comma B are co-primes. So don't get confused. And what do you mean by co-primes? Means here co-primes means HCF of highest common factor of A comma B is 1. If the highest common factor of these two numbers are 1, then they said to be co-primes. If the A comma B are co-primes, then A is to be said to be in the simplest form or lowest terms. Always remember, ratio need to be expressed in lowest form or simplest form. So for example, let's have a discussion, one question here. Discussion. So example, one example, let's have a discussion. For example, 15 is to 20 is there. Check the 15 is to 20 is in said to be simplest form or lowest terms. No, because still we can further, it can be divided. Now divide both sides, so divide, instead of saying both sides, divide by HCF of highest common factor or GCD of 15 and 20. So what is the GCD or SC of 15 and 20? That is actually, you remember, that is nothing but 5. Because 5 divides 15, 5 divides 20. So now having been divided by 5, then what do we get now? The ratio becomes like this, 15 divided by 5. So is to 20 divided by 5. So that means we can write 5 1 ja, 5 3 ja. So 5 1 ja, 5 4 ja. So this is nothing but it's equivalent to 3 is to 4. The 3 is to 4 means 3 comma 4 SCF is 1. So it has been put in the simplest form or lowest terms. So how could it be simplified? Directly we can do. Direct method also we can do. So direct method. So direct method means how shall we put this 15 is to 20 in lowest terms? Very simple manner. 5 3 ja, 5 4 ja. So which is directly we can write 3 is to 4. While doing the problems, actually while solving the problems, so better to adopt like this. I hope it's very clear to you. So this is called actually simplest form or lowest terms. So then let us move to the fourth concept. Fourth concept. So the same non-zero number can multiply or divide the terms of a ratio. So that means if you want to multiply the terms of a ratio, or if you want to divide the terms of a ratio, so we should not divide or multiply with the zero. So non-zero number we can multiply. So for example, consider one of the examples. So one example, for example, you consider 3:2. So multiply 4 on both sides, multiply with 4. Because 4 is a non-zero number, multiply with 4. Each term is being multiplied with 4. So that what do we get now? 4 times 3 is to 4 times 2. So this is equal to, we can write 12 is to 8. Similarly, for example, you consider at another example. So same, you consider 15 is to some 25. So now divide each term by 5. So then what do we get now here? 15 divided by 5 is to 25 divided by 5. So that you will be getting 3:5. So which has been put in lowest terms or simplest. So now let us move to the fifth concept. So fifth concept now. So let us move to fifth concept. So let's have a discussion on, if you change the order of the terms in a ratio, what will happen? So does it make that any difference if you just interchange the order of a ratio? That we need to check now. So that means the order of the terms of a ratio the order of the terms of a ratio is very, very important. That means we should not change the order. That means, here important note, A is to B is not equal to B is to A. So if order is changed, the ratio changes. For example, you see example 2:3. Your first term is 2, second term is 3. Whereas in second ratio, for example, if you take 3:2. So basically here 2:3 does not equal to 3:2. You remember, my dear children. Student, one more thing. Sixth point you can remember. So A is to B is the same as equals to A by B also. A by B. So nothing but actually comparison of the two quantities of same coin by division. A is to B is equal to, we can write. But here very important thing you must remember, that where A comma B are of same kind, or which possess the same units or same kind. So that's why here, see, one more important note we can conclude, that A is to B, so that is A by B, is a ratio. Ratio is nothing but a number, constant is a number, because A and B have the same units will be gets cancelled, you get a number or always a constant you will be getting. So in physics, generally the ratio is said to be dimensionless quantity. Okay, so next fifth point, let's have a discussion on fifth point, that is special ratios. This is very very important. Special ratios, generally in competitive entrance examination, different competitive entrance examinations, it may be SI or police constable or SSC CGL, other group 1, group 2, group 3, or different NDA or Air Force, any competitive entrance examination, generally these type of questions will be asked. Special ratios. Special ratios, before going to the special ratios, okay, so let's have a discussion on special ratios. So let us consider, for example, if A is to B is a ratio. Absolutely, it's a ratio itself only. Ratio. So then, in that first point, so if you square the first term and second term, you get a new ratio. So that means A square is to B square. Then what do we call this? A square is to B square is called the duplicate ratio of A is to B. So is the duplicate ratio. So is the duplicate ratio. Duplicate ratio. So my dear aspirants, please try to understand what is the duplicate ratio of A is to B. Yes, A square is to B square. So now let us move to the second one. So next is triplicate ratio. If you just cube it, then what do we get now here? A cube is to B cube is the, so now you might have expected, what do we call? Triplicate ratio. Triplicate ratio. So now let us move to third one. Okay. Take the square root of the each terms of the given ratio A is to B. Then what do we get? Root A is to root B. Then what do we call? Is the, okay. So you can chart. So that is called subduplicate ratio. Subduplicate ratio. Okay. So next fourth one. So cubed root A is to cubed root B. Then what do we call? So this is called subtriplicate ratio. Subtriplicate ratio. Clear? I hope it's very clear to you. And next one is fifth one. So 1 by A is to 1 by B. Okay, let's have a discussion. 1 by A is called reciprocal of A, whereas 1 by B is called reciprocal of B. So that's why obviously we call it as reciprocal ratio. 1 by A is to 1 by B, or we can say that B is to A also we can write, is the reciprocal ratio. So is called the reciprocal ratio. So let us solve some problems now. Then you will get some idea. Right. So let us move to examples now. So examples. Let's have a discussion on examples. This one. So first problem. The duplicate ratio of of 2:3. Yes. Are you able to find what is the duplicate ratio of 2:3? Yes. Try yourself. Are you able to get it? So what is the duplicate ratio? How could you find duplicate ratio? So very simple. See the solution, duplicate ratio is equal to duplicate ratio. Duplicate ratio is equal to, we can write 2 square is to 3 square. So non-math students, don't worry. So what is 2 square? Let me explain. 2 square means 2 into 2, that is 4. So 3 square is equal to 3 into 3, you get 9. Am I correct now? So what do you write now? Instead of 2 square is to 3 square? Yes, absolutely correct you are. That is nothing but 4 is to 9. Yes, the duplicate ratio of 2 is to 3 is 4 is to 9. Am I correct now? Okay, let us move to second example now. The triplicate ratio. The triplicate ratio of 2 is to 3 is to 4. Let us find some other 3 is to 4. Okay, can you find out this one? Are you able to find out this one? Try this one. You can chat with me. If you have any doubt, you can discuss with me. Okay, check your answers. So the triplicate ratio of 3 is to 4 is equal to, we can write 3 cube, 3 raised to 3 is to 4 cube. Okay, so for the sake of non-math students, let me explain what is meant by 3 cube. 3 cube means 3 is multiplied for 3 times. 3 into 3 into 3. So 3 into 3 is 9. 9 again multiply with 3, 27. Am I correct now? Cube of 3 cube. Similar manner, let us find out 4 cube. What is 4 cube? 4 into 4 into 4. So 4 into 4 is 16. 16 multiplied with 4, that is 64. Now how do you express? So that means we can write 3 cube is equal to 27. Here is to 4 cube is equal to 64. So now the 3 cube is to 4 cube becomes 27 is to 64, which is the triplicate ratio of 3 is to 4. Am I correct now? Okay, let us move to now one more problem. The subduplicate ratio of 16 is to 49. 16 is to 49. So can you find out this one? Can you find out this one? Can you find out this one? Okay. So my dear students, first of all, so just recall what is the subduplicate ratio. See, I will write here subduplicate ratio, that means given ratio A is to B is equal to, so you can write like this, square root of A is to square root of B. That means we need to take the square root for the both the terms of the given ratio, so that we can find out the subduplicate ratio. So my dear students, understood? So now we are going to find out subduplicate ratio. Subduplicate ratio of 16 is to 49. That means take the square root of 16 is to the square root of the second term, that is 49. So my dear students, for non-maths students, understand what is the square root of 16. Square root of 16 means this we can write square root of 4 into 4, because 16 is a perfect square, don't get any confusion here. 4 In the similar manner, you can expect a square root of 49. How do you express it? Square root of 7 into 7. So we can write 7. Obviously, what is your answer? That is 4:7. I hope it's very clear to you. So now you are able to find out. Okay, right. So 1 minute, 1 minute. Right. So let us move to next question, fourth question. Right. The sub-triplicate ratio, triplicate ratio, sub-triplicate ratio of, okay, now 8:27. So what is the sub-triplicate ratio of 8:27? Can you find out? Okay, my dear students, let us try. So now directly I can proceed. Take the cube root of each term, 8 and 27. Sub-triplicate ratio, triplicate ratio of 8:27, that is cube root of 8 is to cube root of 27. So now you are able to find out cube root of 8 and cube root of 27. So let us see how to find out. Cube root of 8 means this is nothing but 8 to the power of 1 by 3. 8 is nothing but 2 cube. 2 cube whole to the power of 1 by 3. This 3 gets cancelled. We have 2. So what is the cube root of 8? That is 2. Because 2 cube is equal to 8. So cube root of 8 is 2. So in the similar manner, the cube root of 27. How could you find cube root of 27? Yes, you can try yourself also. So this 27 to the power of 1 by 3 you can write. Whereas 27 is 3 cube. 3 cube whole to the power of 1 by 3. 3 gets cancelled, 3. So cube root of 8 is 2. Here is 2. Cube root of 27 is 3. Answer is 2:3. I hope it's very clear to you. So, and one more problem we need to discuss, that is fifth one, right? That is the reciprocal ratio. The reciprocal ratio of 5:7. So what is the reciprocal ratio? So let's have a discussion on that one. So we have the concept. So let us recall the concept. The reciprocal ratio of A:B. Already we had a discussion, elaborate discussion, is equal to 1 upon A is to 1 upon B, or we can write simply B is to A. So how shall we get B is to A also? Let me explain, don't worry. So my dear students, now let us write. So what is our answer for this one? The reciprocal ratio of 5:7. Can you find out? Are you able to find out? How could you find out? See, the reciprocal ratio of 5:7 is 1 upon 5 is to 1 upon 7. Find LCM of 5 and 7, because 5 and 7 are actually here co-primes, so that we can get product of these two. 5 into 7, 35. So we can multiply both the terms of the given ratio with a non-zero number. So that means having been multiplied with 35, so now we can write this ratio is equal to 35 multiplied with 1 upon 5. So is to 35 multiplied with 1 upon 7. So now 5 1 ja, 5 7 ja, 7 1 ja, 7 5 ja. So then what do we get? Yes, absolutely correct. 7:5. That means reciprocal ratio of 5:7 means just interchange the terms like this. Interchange the terms. By interchanging, you get 7:5. Directly we can write. So these kind of techniques or tips are to be remembered while attempting any kind of entrance examinations. It may be sub-inspector examination or constable examination or whatever examination, banking examination. This arithmetic chapter is very, very important. For campus recruitment also very, very important. Okay, I hope it's very clear to you. Special. Right, now we are going to discuss sixth point, sixth important point, that is we need to discuss compounded ratio. What is meant by compounded ratio? Do you have any idea? Compounded ratio or compound ratio also we can call it as. Okay, so for example, you consider two ratios. So let us consider two ratios. Let us consider two or more ratios also, no problem. Let us consider two ratios, A is to B, and consider one more ratio, C is to D. Okay. Here let us perform the first terms of A is to B is A. First term of C is to D is C. Multiply these two. Then you get A into C. Second terms are BD. Multiply these two. You get B into D. So then form a new ratio. So this is called AC is to BD. This AC is to BD is called compound ratio of A is to B and C is to D. So let us write it now. So that means the ratio obtained by multiplying the terms of the given ratios is called a compounded ratio. Compounded ratio. So that means when two or more ratios are multiplied term wise, the result is a compounded ratio. So that means we can write like this: when two or more ratios, two or more ratios multiplied term wise, the result is a compounded ratio. Compounded ratio. Right? Is it clear to you? Right, now example. Let's have a discussion on example now. Example here. The compounded ratio of A is to B and C is to D. How to find out? See here method to find out. See, the A is to B we can write A upon B or A by B. C is to D we can write C upon D. Multiply both. So A into C and B into D. You get AC upon BD. So that is nothing but this can be written AC is to BD. So this can be extended to the more ratios also, the compounded. So that means let us move to yet another example. The compounded ratio of A is to B, C is to D and E is to F. Okay, can you find out? So what is the compounded ratio of these three? Are you able to find out? Right, let us find out. So now A is to B we can write A by B. C is to D we can write C by D. E is to F, we can write E by F. Just multiply. So that what do we get? A into C into E divided by B into D into F. So therefore, compounded ratio of A is to B, C is to D, and E is to F is equal to, then what do we write? That is ACE, A into C into E is to, we can write B into D into F, BDF. So in this way we can find out compounded ratio. Okay, next let us move to one example now. Example, let's have a discussion. Example. So first example, the compound ratio of, that means find the compound ratio of 2 is to 3 and 4 is to 5. So what is your answer? What is the compound ratio of 2 is to 3 and 4 is to 5? Or find the compound ratio of 2 is to 3 and 4 is to 5. Okay, now can you find out? The both ways we can do two methods. The first method is, first let us express A is to B as A by B form, that is 2 by 3, and multiply with 4 is to 5, we can write 4 by 5. So now we can write 8 upon 4 into 2, 8, 3 into 5, 15. So required ratio is 8 into 15. This is one method. Other method is actually we can adopt like this: 2 is to 3, write down, and next 4 is to 5, write down. So that means you need to multiply the first terms and you need to multiply the second terms, so that we get 2 into 4 is to 3 into 5. So that what do you get your answer? Yes, you are correct. That is 8 is to 15. You check, both options are same. Both are correct. Both are correct. So now you are able to find out even the compound ratio of the given two ratios. Even you can find out the compound ratio of three ratios, more than three ratios also. So let us proceed for the second example. The compounded ratio of 2 is to 3, 3 is to 4, and 4 is to 5, and 4 is to 5. Okay, so now both the methods let us do. First method, this 2 is to 3 we can write 2 by 3, multiplied with 3 is to 4 is 3 by 4, multiplied with 4 is to 5 is 4 upon 5. So here cancellation takes place. 3 1 ja 3 cancel, 4 1 ja 4 cancel. We have 2 by 5. So that is equal to, therefore directly we can write 2 is to 5. This is simplest form. Simplest form. This is said to be simplest form. So why do we call it as a simplest form? Do you have any idea? Since 2, 5 are co-primes, or HCF of 2, 5 is 1. So next method you can see the 2 is to 3, write down, 3 is to 4, write down, and 4 is to 5, write down. So now multiply with the first terms, 2 into 3, 3 into 4. That is, we can write 2 into 3 into 4 is to, next we need to write, multiply the second terms, 3 into 4, 4 into 5, 3 into 4 into 5. This 3 into 4, 3 into 4 gets cancelled. We have the answer 2 is to 5 is the compounded ratio. I hope you might have followed. Once again, watch the video 2 or 3 times. If you have any doubt, you can chat with me. So in the offline session also you can chat with me. So tomorrow we shall go for more super shortcuts and we shall have a clear discussion about. So today we have completed the concept of the ratio. So tomorrow we shall discuss proportions. So thank you. Bye bye. Have a nice day.